There's a pattern that almost every viral video follows, and most creators completely miss it. So most people think about going viral is about luck or the algorithm gods smiling on you, okay? I used to think that. But when you actually decode what makes a video pop off, I'm talking you go frame by frame, you understand the audio, you start to see these patterns that are almost mathematical. The problem is that doing these forensics works manually takes forever. So we built a tool inside of Alphana that can actually do this for you. What it'll do is it'll analyze a video and break it down exactly what made it work, the hook structure, the retention mechanism, even the psychological triggers. And so I'm going to show you what I found. We're going to run it inside of Alphana. I'm going to show you an example, and then I'll show you by the end of the session how you could actually use this to run it against any other video that you find online, as well as to be able to run it against your own videos before you publish it to give you a good analysis. Now I've got Alphana open. This is kind of the first step of the process as we dive in. All right, and I had one video that was creating here that's just sitting up in the background. So first things first, what we want to do is we want to be able to take a look at these videos, see what made them viral, see what the likelihood of them going viral was, and I'll show you guys a couple examples so you can see it. This is great if you're ready to put out a video and you want to understand, hey, is this video meant in the right way? Do I have the right hook? Or maybe you found another video that's in your target market and you can get a copy of it and you want to upload that in here and you want to be able to give it a test and be like, all right, what made this go viral? What was the viral hook out of this video, right? Give me the script so that you can learn from it and be able to apply it to your own content. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to open up a project that I already had open. So first things first, we got this one from Mark Zuckerberg. This was a short 60-second snippet. I'm going to press play. You could see this video.
Right. I think every creator would want to engage with every fan who's reaching out to them, but you just don't have time. And of course, probably more people than are even sending messages would like to engage with something that that creator is creating, but a lot of people probably don't even send the messages because they know that the creator's not going to get around to being able to message. So yeah, I mean, I think there's this whole question of how good are the AI agents that creators create for themselves going to be, and I think that that's going to be an art form by itself that kind of grows and evolves over time, and it's going to get better and better. But I think for a lot of people, knowing that they're engaging with something that the creator created and had a hand in doing is going to be pretty meaningful.
So that was that video. Is this one going to go viral? When we did the analysis and we ran the video, what's going on here? I'm going to go ahead and click expand, and you're going to see here we got the virality score. We got to watch the videos. We broke down the virality score. There's one card that breaks it down, and you can see here it breaks down the score like a 57 out of 100. It was a limited viral appear. It gives you the score summary, which breaks down the hook, the content structure, the audience resonance, and the unique value. And then we go deep into what the hook strength was, along with the evaluation, suggestion, the content structure, the audience resonance. Creators will relate to the time crunch and fans wanting replies. The tone is friendly, but it lacks vivid example to hit home. The evidence is you just don't have time. A lot of people probably don't even send the messages. So what's the improvement suggestion, right? You add a quick story. A music creator's agent answered 500 DMs and booked 20 superfans for a live Q&A. Had he said something like this, it probably would have caught a lot more people's attention and it would have resonated a lot more with that audience. You know, we break it down, we break down the unique value so you can see what that looks like and then give final recommendations for improvement. So you could see how this could work, whether you pull a video that you saw and you're inspired by it and trying to understand what made that video work so well or why was it so bad, and the same so you can import your own content in here and run this analysis to give you an idea of how your video may potentially perform, especially with understanding your target audience and what that unique value proposition is going to be. If we think about the recommendations for improvement with that video, number one, open with a sharp hook and a clear promise in the first 5 seconds. Super important. Number two, add one vivid example with a simple metric to prove impact. And then number three, close with a crisp takeaway and a question that invites comments or DMs. Those three things would help to improve a video like this one to help it go viral and resonate a lot more with your audience. All right, so the second thing that we run in this viral video toolkit, this analysis, number two, is we analyze the video more in depth to see what makes this content work, and we break it out, the hook, the main points, we try to see what's there. Number two, why people would share it if they were to share this, okay? Because it's relatable, it's useful, it's hopeful. We could break down here a simple template to make a similar content, right? So this gives you examples like hook the pain in one line. You want to reply to everyone, but there aren't enough hours. Or you can widen the problem, right? Fans stop messaging because they think you'll never see it. Or as a third example, offer the path. Here's a way to keep the convo going. Enter your solution. So this structure is really good to help you. Here, look, now it gives you 5 hook ideas using the same pattern. You want daily content, but you also want sleep. Your best ideas hit at 11 p.m. and vanish by morning. You launch a product and then support eats your week. Your comments ask the same 5 questions every single day. Your audience grows, but your replies don't. Boom, 5 hooks, ideas in the same pattern, just all based on new topics, right? So this breaks down the tips. This gives you how to tweak it across different platforms. The next one I'll show you here is the viral hook decoder. Now look, these work a lot better when it actually has a good hook. Like in this video, the hook wasn't that good. So it's giving you, it's decoding what the hook was in this video. In this example, it's just showing it to you in case it's helpful, but this is probably not the hook you want to go with, right? And I'm going to show you an example with a video that would most likely perform a lot better. But you could see that this one will give you the exact hook. It'll tell you why this hook works. It'll give you the 3 to 4 points. A fill in the blank hook template. So it'll give you a template that you can use, that you can pre-fill, but for your own business, your idea, who your target market is, you could fill in this template. Like every who wants to ideal action, but you just don't have key limit, right? And then it can give you examples for the blanks, and then it puts it in here. So definitely something I would say most people are sleeping on. They're not analyzing other videos. They're not analyzing their own videos to see what's there. And what's great about this, it also gives you 8 to 10 new hooks that you can use using the same formula. I'm going to jump to the next one. Last but not least, what we have is something called the voice and style copier. Okay. If you love the voice or the style of another video or another content creator, or you're uploading your own video to help understand what your voice or your brand style is of how you speak and what the topics are, you want to use this AI card called the voice and style copier. Okay. And this is all part of this workflow. What's great is that all of this gets executed in one shot. So if I expand this and I scroll down, here you go, right? It says brand voice style guide based on the provided transcript. So what it does is it breaks down the distinctive voice characteristics, okay? It's casual, not formal, serious and thoughtful, not jokey, conversational over technical, it's reflective and curious, thinks out loud, optimistic and about progress over time. So this gives it to you, right? If you don't know what your own brand voice is, drop it in here and we can extract that. The second one is going to be hook examples and why they work. So for example, okay, I think every creator would want to engage with every fan, but you just don't have time. The relatable pain point sets up a clear tension in one line. This is like some of the earlier ones, but it gives you a couple examples of the hooks, signature phrases, transitions, and expressions. So if you're trying to understand like what are some common words you say. So if I look at Mark Zuckerberg, he says, I think a lot, of course. So yeah, I mean, and he says gonna and kinda. So they're like informal verbs and modifiers. Over time, better and better, a lot of people, pretty meaningful. So if you think about it, if you're trying to train an AI like ChatGPT, or if you want to update your custom instructions, and this extracts the signature phrases and transitions and expressions that you typically say in a video, you could drop these into your custom instructions and say, make sure that in my script or in my copy that you speak like me, these are a couple of signature phrases and transitions and expressions that I typically say, okay? Now, some of these you probably don't want, and some of these you probably do. So you can copy and paste the ones that you do want it to take from what you typically say. But also this could be an eye opener, right? You might see that you say some words and they're a little bit overused, and then you can help adapt to what it is that you want to say. So this is very useful. All right, sentence structure patterns. Okay, what it does is it breaks down how you're speaking in your transcript and breaks down the sentence structure. So some of these we talked about earlier starts with softeners like I think, so, I mean. It's got a mix of medium length reflective sentences with clauses, short, punchy emphatics to land the point, uses hedging like probably and kinda to stay approachable, frequent cause and effect change. So problem, observation, question, hopeful outlook, and it gives you an example pattern. This is super helpful. This is also the kind of details that you can put into your writing to be able to understand, into your custom instructions or into your brand styles of how you speak. All right, then what does it do? It breaks down do's and don'ts, right? Use everyday words and contractions, show empathy for time limits, etc. Don't use technical or use jargon. Don't overpromise or sound absolute. Use buzzwords or hype. Write long and dense paragraphs. So you could see what that looks like here. All right, sample paragraphs in this voice. This is what's cool. What it'll do is it'll write what, 2 or 3 sample paragraphs based on his voice now, right? So let's just read maybe one of them. Let's say, all right, I think everyone wants to try every tool, but you just don't have the hours in the day. A lot of folks probably skip a great tool because it feels like one more thing. So the question is, what's the one small habit that actually sticks? Start tiny. It's gonna feel slow at first, but it gets better and better. So there's an example of how it would write in his voice. It gives you recognizable vocabulary choices. It breaks down the emotional tone markers, one-page brand voice for writers. And here you go. This is a final output that you get that you could copy and paste if I were to grab this chunk right here that you can paste into something like your custom instructions into Alphana, into a tool to be able to teach it how to write, okay? It kind of combines all the elements together. And then last but not least, if you wanted to explain to an AI how to write it, but using it in a prompt format, here is an exact prompt under 100 words that you could copy and paste that takes the voice and the tone of what was in here. So, for example, write in a casual, thoughtful voice. Use simple words, contractions, and light hedging like I think and probably. Start with a relatable problem, pose one clear question, and end with a calm, hopeful note about progress over time. Keep paragraphs short. Mix medium sentences with punchy closer. Avoid jargon and hype, and center human connection and meaning. Now, this is your copy and paste prompt that you could use. So this is what we call the Viral Video Toolkit. Okay, you could find this in Alphana, okay, simply by going into Create in the top left. Okay, when you come here, you get access to a whole library of AI templates that you can use to be able to either create content or do an analysis or learn. So if I scroll down, I could do things like turning my video into social posts. I could turn my video into tips and lessons, or I could take my video and turn them into a blog post. There's a wealth of what you could do. But what we want to do right now, if I keep scrolling, you're going to see there's a whole library of other templates that you can choose from. For this session, we're going to focus on the Viral Video Toolkit. So if I scroll down, here we go. Right here, Viral Video Toolkit. If I click this little button to expand it, you're going to see it has the 4 pieces of content that we just went through: the Viral Video Analyzer, the Viral Hook Decoder, Voice and Style Copier, and the Virality Score. It's going to produce all of these assets for you, okay? And the analysis. I'm going to select that. Now what I'm going to do is I'm going to go ahead and select a video, and maybe what I'll do is upload one so you can see what that looks like. So when I click on upload, I can click on drop files. I'm just going to go ahead and pick a video. Let's say this one. Perfect. All right, now I've got my video in here. I don't need to put anything else. I've selected the template. I've got the video. I'm telling Alphana, hey, analyze this video. And based on that video, I want you to generate all the content that's already in that template. Okay. This in here, you could personalize like your tone, the reading level of the output, your target audience, your language. You could also leave all of that blank if you want to. All you got to do is delete whatever is inside these text boxes, okay? Or write whatever you want. This is to adapt how you want Alphana to talk to you. I'm gonna click next. Now, at this step, you can edit the transcript if you want to. That makes it more accurate, especially if you've got multiple speakers, or if you want to add your name in there so that it's a little bit more tailored. I'm gonna skip that for now and click no. And at the bottom, I'm gonna click generate. So now we'll just give this a minute because it's gonna analyze the video, it's gonna transcribe it, and based on the context from the video, it's going to start generating and coming up with the viral score, the Viral Video Analyzer. It's going to decode the hook, and then it's going to figure out the voice and copy the style of the video. Look at that. This scored much higher. And look, if I keep scrolling, you're going to see I got the Viral Video Analyzer. This one's already drafting. I've got the Viral Hook Decoder. Look at that. And then the Voice and Style Copier. Look at that. All here. That's perfect. I'll give that a second to finish. So I know you guys can't hear it, but right here, you'd be able to hear what this video sounds like. Maybe I could try it one more time. Let's see. So let's give this a shot. I want you to hear this video first, and then we'll go through the analysis that it gave.
In 1900, a small French tire company launched one of the greatest marketing campaigns of all time. It was so good that it created a billion-dollar industry that we still use today. In the 1900s, cars were rare and the roads were pretty much empty. And this small tire company called Michelin wanted to find a way to sell more tires. Their idea was genius. What if we made people want to travel? The solution didn't involve tires. Instead, they created guides. Inside the guides, they would have a map, show where gas stations were, hotels, mechanics, and even restaurants. Their plan was simple. More road trips would equal people needing more tires. By 1920, these guides were a hit, and not because people wanted to know where gas stations were. It was all about the restaurants. And Michelin saw an opportunity that no one else did. In 1926, they introduced their rating system. 1 star meant good restaurant. 2 stars meant worth the detour. 3 stars meant it's worth a special journey. And restaurants were living and dying by these ratings. Chefs were known to change their whole entire restaurant just to get a better rating. But all while these chefs are obsessed with their scores, Michelin had just pulled off one of the greatest marketing moves of all time. See, more stars equate to more road trips lead to more tire sales lead to more guides. And even today, over 100 years later, Michelin stars are still the pinnacle of a restaurant. 1 star can create a 6-month waiting list, while being removed from the list can literally close your doors overnight. The wild part is, in 125 years, they've never sold a single tire in their guide. Instead, they gave people value, which in return turned a company that sells rubber into a luxury brand.
Look at that. By the way, how many of you knew this backstory with Michelin? When I first heard and saw this video, I was so shocked. That's such a genius idea with the Michelin star. Now, that video was pretty good. It kind of keeps you entertained watching the video. That was an actual in 1 minute and 23 seconds, that video. Okay. If I come down, it gave it a score of 83 out of 100. Now, I don't know if you remember, but the video that we just did last, if I were to open that up, that video did a score of 57. That was a 57 out of 100, okay? This one scored an 83. Let's jump in and find out why this score was better than the Mark Zuckerberg video. All right, couple things. 83 out of 100, highly likely to gain significant traction. It did. This video on Instagram was more than 200 or 300,000 views at least. So the hook strength gave it a 22 out of 25. The content structure was a 22 out of 25. That's great. Audience resonance, a 21 out of 25, and the unique value was an 18 out of 25. So why? Let's look at the hook strength, all right? It opens with a fast and bold claim and a clear curiosity gap. It sets a time, a brand, and a big promise in seconds. Evidence, in 1900, a small French tire company launched one of the greatest marketing campaigns of all time. So that's what drove this, right? And the improvement is add a visual or a stat tease in the first 3 seconds. This move still drives billion-dollar decisions today, right? Now, one thing with this analysis, it doesn't look at the visuals, okay? So it's giving you purely based on what it's hearing and the transcript of the video for now, okay? The content structure, okay? It had a strong arc, the problem, idea, execution, impact, lasting legacy, okay? It's clean, it has a cause and effect flow, keeping viewers watching. It goes into the audience resonance. So for the audience, it was simple language, clear stakes, and a relatable marketing lesson. So it gives the value first, and it's great for marketers and creators as well. So think about it. When you're making a video or you're recording a video, you're trying to understand it, right? Again, you want to make sure that your video has a strong hook, okay? Open up with a fast, bold claim or a clear curiosity gap. Then you got the content structure, right? Look at this one. Strong arc, problem, idea, execution, beautiful. It resonates with the audience and it's using simple language that can appeal to wide people, right? And then last but not least, the unique value, okay? The Michelin story is known, but the script frames it as a timeless growth play, right? So it's fresh for some, familiar for many. So again, this is very known. This helps. Super important. One detail, add a one lesser known detail like early guide distribution tactic or first city rollout to boost novelty. Perfect. So this gives me the virality score. This also gives you an analysis of the video. Okay. What makes it work? It shows you the hook. It gives you the problem, the unexpected solution, the twist, the system, the loop, the impact today. Look at the breakdown of this. I mean, this video, number one, wasn't written just as is. It actually had structure. You could tell he wasn't rambling. You could tell it was very thought out. It had the storyline, and they did that very meticulously, okay? That's what led this to that video performing well. So if you look at the main points, it was very clean from a story perspective, okay? Started with the problem. Cars were rare, roads were empty, Michelin needed to sell more tires. That was the problem. The unexpected solution, not ads about tires, it was guides that made people travel, right? Think about that, right? In order for people to buy more tires, they needed to travel more to use up their tires in order for them to be able to buy more tires, okay? The twist is that restaurants became the hit feature of the guides. The system, the star rating, a 1, a 2, or a 3, and what it means, right? The loop is, all right, more stars, okay, will give you more trips, which would lead to more tire sales and then lead to more guides, okay? The impact today is stars can create wait lists or shut places down. So anyways, if we think about a clear takeaway, give people value first. They never sold a single tire in their guide. They gave value and became a luxury brand. That's the clear takeaway. So I'll let you all read this on your own, but this covers why people would share this. It gives you a simple template on how to make similar content, and you can see how this one's completely different than the Mark Zuckerberg video we just watched. This gives you 5 new hook ideas, right? It gives you the same pattern, but new topics, okay? I'm going to read these because these came out a little bit better, I think. So in 2007, a tiny software team killed the ringtone business without writing a single song. Actually, I want to dive into that one. That was pretty cool. All right. In the 1980s, a sneaker ad rewired how we built athletes, and shoes followed. A grocery chain turned its parking lot into a billion-dollar media channel without buying billboards. A coffee brand sold 0 coffee in its best campaign. Here's how it still packed the cafe. And last but not least, a board game company saved itself by inventing a holiday tradition. No discount needed. I mean, look at these hooks, right? In my head, I'm like, well, what software team did this, right? Or what sneaker ad was that, right? Maybe it was Nike. What grocery chain did that, right? That's kind of crazy. Which coffee brand? What board game company, right? In that first hook, the thing that you're thinking about is who are they talking about? I need to keep listening. I need to keep watching before it continues on so I can learn about what's going on here. And that's the thing. When you think about making videos that's going to spread or go viral, and again, when I say viral, I use that loosely. That could just mean to widen up your audience more than what it is today, okay? But when you think about it, every single statement should almost be a hook that leads into the next part of the video, okay? So I've got my hook, and then I've got the second part of the hook, and then the third part. Think about it as short bits and pieces, especially for short form content, okay? If it's not important, if it's not essential, if it's not something that's going to give value or spark curiosity or be a bold statement, don't put it in your video. Take it out. Remove all the fluff. And that's what this is doing. These are giving you the patterns that you can use to be able to construct a solid video that's going to help you to reach the audiences that you have. Okay? And what's great is that this gives you the quick writing tips based on the video, platform tweaks, so how you can tweak it and adapt it for TikTok versus YouTube versus LinkedIn, Twitter, X, and so on. And then it gives you these examples, but in other niches, right? That's pretty cool. Like for a fitness app, in 2015, a small app sold workouts, but never selling a workout. Wow. Okay. So you can see how it gives you these different examples. Beautiful. All right. And then last but not least, or not, actually there's 2 more. You've got the viral hook decoder, okay? This gives you the viral hook playbook, all based on this transcript if you wanted to replicate it, but for your own company. And what's great about this, it gives you like almost a one-pager that you can throw into a doc, right? It's like it gives you the exact hook that was used. Now you have your example. It gives you the why the hook works with 3 to 4 concise bullet points, a fill-in-the-blank hook template, 8 to 10 new hooks using this exact formula, okay? And quick tips to adapt the hook by platform. And last but not least, like I mentioned in the previous project, you can now use the voice and style copier so that you can use this to be able to either write your own or to implement it into another video. And it gives you everything from the voices, the hook examples, the phrases, right? I mean, look at some of these phrases. Their idea was genius. What if we, or the solution didn't involve, it was all about, by 1920, like look at all these little keywords and phrases that it used to be able to construct that particular video. Gives you all of their sentence structure patterns, the do's and don'ts of how to speak, gives you sample paragraphs in this voice, gives you the vocabulary choices, beautiful, emotional tone markers, and then like I showed you before, you got a 1-page brand voice guide that you could share, okay? This is the one that you copy and paste. Look at this right here. Boom. This is a 1-pager brand voice guide that you get to be able to speak and create content like this particular video. And then last but not least, if you need it in a prompt format, here's your beautiful, concise prompt in under 100 words that you can throw into things like ChatGPT, Claude, or even inside of Alphana itself. All right. Please go ahead, drop in the chat if you've got questions, thoughts. Is this helpful? Is this something that you can see to be able to help your business or your content strategy? Again, what's cool about this is you don't have to come up with the prompts for each one of these. You don't need to know how to decode it, okay? This literally is one project that you get a template inside of the library. All you have to do once you're inside of Alphana, you click create, You scroll down, you find the Viral Video Toolkit right here, and you can generate a project using those insights. Just as easy as it was to create and to be able to use the Viral Video Toolkit, you could use things like the Target Audience Toolkit. Very similar to Viral Video, except this one is all about extracting who your target audience is or who the target audience is of another video. Okay. But you can do things from creating short form scripts. You could do things for your podcast content workflow, repurposing your podcast, right? A YouTube content workflow. So all really easy to use templates that you can use inside of Alphana. All right. And last but not least, we're not going to go through this one fully, but I did want to show you, I did another video earlier. These scores are different and they all depend on the video. So they most likely will not always be the same. And you can see that here. We had one that scored a 57. The other one scored 80 something. This is a GTA 6 video. You can see here GTA 6 will create millionaires. And the score on this one was a 73 out of 100. It's still pretty good. Still broad a reach, but it had its own analysis of why this one wasn't scoring in the 80s or scoring in the 90s. Okay. So these are all great examples of how you can leverage this. I use it on 3 completely different videos, which gives you an example. All you got to do is grab your video, upload it into Alphana. We'll take care of the analysis. We'll transcribe it and help you to produce this output. So super important. Make your videos the best that they can. Super important. Hooks. They're super important. They're loops, they're not lines. The best hooks don't just promise something, they actually create an open loop your brain can't close, okay? Viral videos, they all have breadcrumbs. Remember what I said earlier, where every line kind of leads into the other line, right? They drop breadcrumbs of value every 8 to 12 seconds. It just keeps you hooked. They're like little dopamine hits, okay? So these are all things that I truly recommend. We do these Insider Live sessions every single week. I hope to see you all. If you're on YouTube or if you see this once you do the replay, please subscribe to our YouTube channel, hit the like button, turn on the notification bell. These are all things that really help our videos to be able to spread to more people. Hopefully you got a lot of value. Hopefully you got a quick lesson on these hooks and you have a toolkit to help you to create them, to analyze them and decode them. I'm Sebastian Mourra and I am the CEO and co-founder of Alphana. So if you need anything at all, please don't hesitate to reach out. Love you all. Thank you so much for your time and hope you have a beautiful rest of your day. Thank you.